my goodness me, I absolutely love the beginning of the song.
Oh, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. Didn't know I could have.
Oh, that just makes me feel for her, but also really feels so lovely. Like, kia ora and welcome. My name is ZoeStibi and I'm a vocal coach with, I don't know, about over 18 years of experience in teaching people like yourself how to sing. I'm in the process of taking a look at Dua Lipa's Tiny Desk concert. She's amazing. She's got a fantastic voice. I'll put some links at the end of this video for the other portions of the Tiny Desk that I've had a look at already. Let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique in Happy For You.
Late on a Tuesday, I saw your picture. You were so happy, I could just tell. She's really pretty, I think she's a model. Baby, together, you look hot as hell. And I didn't even want to cry. Oh, what is this feeling? Couldn't believe it, had to ask myself why. I must have loved you more than I ever knew.
Oh my goodness me, I absolutely love the beginning of the song, and I'm really loving the way in which I'm seeing sort of like the development of these songs and also the development of her vocal technique over the portion of this concert. One really funny thing though is that they are all sitting in really, really similar places of her voice. These high notes are all, so she is up on the A4, which sits right on the passaggi of most female singers. We're hearing this from Dua though, and we're thinking like, oh wow, that sounds really, really high. It's not particularly high actually for the chest voice. It's just because of the timbre of Dua's voice. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go and have another look at this beginning of the song because it's just so sensitive and just so low in volume and beautiful. I was listening so much to the lyric, it's stunning.
Late on a Tuesday, I saw your picture. You were so happy, I could just tell.
So she's late on a Tuesday, I saw your picture, flipping into that falsetto sound. So she's on the D4 there, down above middle C. This is like lowish for the female chest voice register. So she's not really like singing it so much. And I say singing because it's still sung, but very, very low volume. It's almost like, I could just say, got a little bit of that slack vocal fold coming in there as well. Adding to sort of like that kind of like that feeling of that indecisiveness, but also like we've got to go somewhere with our songs. We need to start off really, really low.
She's really pretty, I think she's a model. Baby, together, you look hot as hell. And I didn't even want to cry. Oh, what is this feeling? Couldn't believe it, had to ask myself why. I must have loved you more than I ever knew. Didn't know I could have. 'Cause I'm happy for you. Now I know everything. I'm not mad, I'm not hurt. You got everything you deserve. Oh, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. I'm happy for you. And looking back now, I hope you see it.
Oh, that just makes me feel for her, but also really feels so lovely. Like, that's so nice. Okay, so we have to have a look at her vocal technique though. So again, she's up on the, I mean, look, we had a look at a little bit of that chorus before on the C4. So you can see that though this mouth opening going on, and that's what we really need when we go up into higher in the chest voice register. I was listening to those lyrics, it's just so beautiful. But when we're in the verses, we're noticing there's not a hell of a lot of movement going on in the mouth there because it's in a very comfortable part of her range. But as we're going further up, it's still comfortable. Otherwise she wouldn't sing it. She's amazing. But we are noticing more mouth opening going on, and that vowel modification is just what we need to do.
Couldn't believe it. Had to ask myself why.
So we're going, couldn't believe it. You got this noticeable, like, couldn't believe it. We've got quite a, I don't want to say constricted, but it's almost sounding like a little bit tighter. And that tightness at the back of the larynx gives us the impression that it's like a harder, I don't want to keep on using air quotes, but a harder sound, okay? It's not hard for her. We know it's not hard for her. She's amazingly trained, but it just gives the idea that it's like more pressurized and like more full of emotions.
What is this feeling? Couldn't believe it. Had to ask myself why.
It's also a little bit to do with the vowel. Couldn't believe it. She's allowing those vowels to stay quite small. So we're on the F sharp, which is like, although it doesn't seem like it's very far away in terms of singing in that chest voice register, I mean, half steps can sometimes feel like gigantic leaps. So we're down on the F sharp 4, and again she's then, because that's in a slightly more comfortable part of her range in the chest voice register, we don't have to open it up as quite as much on those notes, and that's adding the vowel shapes, is what I'm trying to say, is that the vowel shapes are then adding to that kind of tense feeling.
I still loved you more than I ever knew. Didn't know I could, 'cause I'm happy for you. Now I know everything. I'm not mad, I'm not hurt. You got everything you deserve. Oh, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. I'm happy for you.
Oh, I love that. You can really see it in her face. She like means it so much. Now, when she's going, and she's going into those higher notes, we're hearing quite a lot of this, like this little, almost like, I don't want to say hiccup, but it's basically like the vocal folds, and that is, it's a really great way for us to access that chest voice sound there, but that little catch in the sound. Now, please, I'm going to say, I'm not a doctor. I haven't seen her vocal folds. I'm going to say this every single time I say this. It's very reminiscent of Mariah Carey's sound, right? We had a little look at Mariah Carey and her newest performance, and that little catch that goes on usually starts to tell us that something's going on at the level of the vocal folds themselves. Now, I don't know about Dua Lipa's vocal history, so I wouldn't say that that's exactly what's going to happen. We can only diagnose that through a mic, like through a camera going through the nose and having a look at the vocal folds. But that little catch there, if I was hearing that in a singer here in the studio, I'd run them through quite a few tests with their vocal folds and with their vocal agility to see what the story actually is over a longer period of time. So if you've got a slight scratch in the sound and you're just like, oh, sorry, I don't even know if could this be something? I can't quite afford to go to the doctor at the moment. I don't even know if I should go to the doctor. Because you don't always have to just because you've got a little catch in your throat. Check out my free singing lesson available in the description below, because it will really help you to get a good vocal fold closure throughout the range. It'll also help you increase your range, but also help you to get that really, really thin vocal fold closure. And that's what we really want to have, to know as kind of a test to go, okay, how are my vocal folds feeling? And when we have, and that would be then like a healthy function. I don't want to use air quotes again. A healthy functioning voice, if we can do the siren without any crackles.
And looking back now, I hope you see it. Even the hard parts were all for the best. I see where you're at now. You picked up the pieces and then you gave them to somebody else. And I didn't even want to cry. Oh, what is this feeling? myself why.
Oh, I love how she's using her breath. And she's like the ultimate professional, because of course she's using this, but she's using her breath in a way. I had to ask myself why. Kind of that sigh. Couldn't believe it. And she's da da, using the breath as well as a way of punctuating the sound and adding again that extra layer of emotion in the sound. We noticed that crackle also disappeared when she couldn't believe it, when she started going to a louder voice quality. Totally normal as well. When we bring more of the vocal folds together, we have more closure, and therefore it's easier when we either sing loud or when we sing in a more chest voice quality, again with a thicker vocal fold closure, to kind of get rid of any crackles or pops or anything like that. That's why scratch can sometimes, or scratching in the voice can often come in when we're trying to sing quietly or high, or both.
Had to ask myself why I must have loved you more than I ever knew. Didn't know I could ever, 'cause I'm happy for you.
Also now she's as she's kind of like doing it a couple of times, she's also changing the placement. She's bringing the sound a little bit more further forward, probably through a little bit more tension in the tongue. And that's just as we're getting better at it, as we're, as she's repeating it, that part of the voice she hadn't sung in earlier in the set. And that can sometimes happen when, even if we've warmed up the voice, once we've sung a couple of songs, the voice can kind of get a little bit stuck, if you could say, in one part of the range, and then we want to make sure that we're using that mobility, and that's what she's just doing. So I don't know if you noticed, but there was like a light kind of like going in of the of her stomach muscles there. You sort of saw the material move on her like pantsuit, as that's what she's wearing. So that, coupled with a little bit of that tension going on, that constriction, which is the constriction is the tightening of the area above the larynx, mostly caused by the false vocal folds coming over the true vocal folds. That's what we do when we build up strength, and that's what would happen if we were to tense the tummy muscles. You can do that as well now. Tense your tummy muscles, kind of preparing for a punch, and you immediately start to feel like a tightening of the area here at the level of the throat. Now, I'm not doing anything other than just pulling in my muscles here in my stomach tighter, which we don't always necessarily want to do, because what that will do is then reduce the amount of resonance that we've got, because we're making all of these structures tense and tight. And in order to create resonance or even create vibrato, we want to allow them to move. That she's not even really using any vibrato, so it doesn't really matter. It's kind of moot point at that point. But it's just, about the idea of breathing and things like that, and how to sing with breathing and all that sort of jazz. If you're interested in learning more about vocal technique, you can check out my Vocal Academy YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description below. That is now where all of my how to sing videos and all of my vocal warm-ups and everything now live, because this channel is purely for analyses of fabulous vocalists like Dua. So I'll just put a link down below if you would like to learn more about breathing for singing.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Hope you're happy too. Oh, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. Didn't know I could ever, 'cause I'm happy for you.
that's so stunning as well. And I love that we've got there's 4 vocalists. Honestly, it's just so beautiful the way that these background singers are just creating this fantastic sound. The harmonies are so tight. And I have to say, like, being a background singer is really, really hard. And it is its own skill. So a background singer would need to, or a background vocalist, a backup vocalist, a supporting vocalist, whichever word you want to use. You have to take a lot of vibrato out of your sound. You are trying to, a lot of the time, eliminate the singer's formant, which is that kind of twangy sound between 2 and 4 kilohertz. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it so that we're not popping out over the top of the other instruments, because that's what we allow the lead singer to do. So you notice that they've got this sort of like breathy sound there. It's not a sort of full sound coming through. And the vowels have to match as well. And they have to spend a lot of time listening to one another, because there wasn't like one P or T or any consonant whatsoever out of time there. And that takes a lot of musicianship to be able to get that good at harmonizing with other people and staying in your lane. So just a massive kudos to people who sing harmony and also those who support lead vocalists, because honestly, it's really freaking hard. Actually, I would almost go as far to say that being a backup vocalist is harder than being a lead singer, because often a lead singer can doodle around and kind of go off on their own tangent, and the background vocalist has to listen so much more to the other background vocalist as well as the band, and stay like much more in time, which is very difficult. Wow, absolutely fantastic. I am not even going to ask. I said this one in the last couple of videos. If you want to see other Dua Lipa Tiny Desk videos, I'm going to put them here, and we're just going to keep on looking. So if you want to see more of Dua Lipa's Tiny Desk concert, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to hang out with you so that we can look at this evolution. I've never done this before and had a look at an entire Tiny Desk concert. So if you do really like it, let me know down in the comments if this is something that you would like me to keep on the channel, because honestly, I feel like I'm kind of like almost experiencing more because of it, in a way, because I'm seeing the way that, you know, an artist chooses where the songs go and in what order, which used to really matter on a CD, but doesn't necessarily matter so much more in terms of like the albums that come out on, say, Spotify or on streaming services, because it's more about the singles that are coming out and about less of the landscape of the CD. And admittedly, that's something that I kind of miss. So let me know as well down in the comments if that's something that you miss as well, like almost listening, not almost, I mean, I used to get a CD, it would cost quite a lot of money, and you sort of listen to it for 6 months or 7 months, you know, on repeat. That's what I used to do, and learn every single word of every single song and know what was coming next. And it was almost like you were having a sort of a mini little relationship with that singer and really getting to know their music and the story of the album as well. And that's something I really miss. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Have an awesome rest today. Just remember that anyone can learn to sing. If you are interested in improving your singing voice and taking some singing lessons, then my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, is accepting new students. I'd love to see you there. Information is down below. See you next time. I'm off to have another look at another Dua Lipa song. Ka kite anō.